Hello and welcome along to part 15 of this Dark Souls guiding playthrough. We're going to Sen's Fortress today, but before we do that I would advise you to come down and upgrade all your primary armour, shield, weapons, gear. Upgrade it all before you go to Anor Londo, before we go to Sen's Fortress, because you won't get the chance to do so until later on in the game. Unless you've got the smithing boxes, but even still, just make sure that you do all that before we go into Sen's Fortress. We're going to go back to Prowling Shrine just for a moment or two. There's a few things for us to do there. Yeah, just while we're talking about upgrading items, make sure, I would suggest having at least kind of chosen the armour set that you want to use for the next half of the game, if not for the rest of the game. The set we've got on just now is the one I'll probably use for most of the game. We've got on the thief mask, the dingy robe, the night gauntlets, and what else have we got? Black leather boots, and I would suggest 2 main shields. I like the grass crest shield and eagle shield, and also 2 main weapons, 1 defensive, 1 offensive. Anyway, let's go and talk to Laurentius.
Well, you made it out. Yeah, I made it out safely too. I have my pyromancy in a great swamp, so I can use humanity with a bit of care. Oh yeah, by the way, I can share the spells with you. I think you have a knack for it. All you need are the materials. I'll be pleased to help you. Unless you find the magic's unsavory.
Say no to this. Don't say yes. If you say yes, that means that you find the magic's unsavoury, but you don't. Say no.
I'm sure that they'll be of some use, some assistance. Here, first take this.
So that's us get the pyromancy flame.
Now you're a fully fledged pyromancer. Well, let's get started.
He's pretty enthusiastic about that. Okay, so yeah, he's a pyromancy trainer, obviously. You can buy some of the best items in the game from this guy. If you're into pyromancies, and I would suggest that you go you try out the pyromancy class. It's one of the best in the game. Iron Flesh basically gives you iron-like flesh. It decreases your mobility massively, but increases your defensive capabilities.
The art of casting fire. Produce flame, then channel it, just as our ancestors did. A pyromancer must be in tune with nature herself. My home, the Great Swamp, is an abundant store of nature. You will understand one day. It only takes time. Pyromancy has a, rather primitive aspect to it. It meshes poorly with advanced culture, and pyromancers are considered rather unsavoury, which is fine, as I never got along with anybody anyway. So, for me, turning undead didn't change a thing.
Alright.
Pyromancer's flame is a part of his own body. The flame develops right.
I'm just going to talk over Laurentius just now because there's a couple things I want to say before we progress. Make sure if you're here and you've not got poison arrows, go straight to the undead merchant, the female one in the sewage tunnel, and buy them, because you need them for Anor Londo if you're not good at parrying and riposting. So do that now, go and get 100 poison arrows, and make sure you've got a bow as well, obviously. All I'm going to do with Frampt is change some of my upgrade items so that I can get large shards to upgrade stuff. So we're going to come back once you've done everything that you need to do in Prowling Shrine, and if you've went and picked your poison arrows up. If you're not good, again I stress, only pick them up if you're really, well, pick 50 up anyway regardless. If you're not good at parrying, pick up another 50 on top of that, and make sure you've got a good bow. Anyway, let's head over to Sen's Fortress. It's an interesting place, Sen's Fortress. You can see that ringing the second bell of awakening's opened the portcullis, or however it's pronounced. The gate, the opening. And you can see in the cinematic it was a dragon, a giant. Anyway, look at the ground, see that raised part of the ground there? That operates a trap. We're going to take on a new enemy here. This is the serpent soldiers, half man, half serpent. You can see that the trap worked well there. You can use some of the traps in Sen's Fortress against the enemies. The trap, once it's depressed, takes a wee while to activate again, or reset itself. These guys aren't particularly difficult. You can parry and riposte them, you can backstab them. They hit hard. They've got the man-serpent greatsword, and they're weak to fire and weak to lightning, I believe. Sen's Fortress is an interesting place. You've got all these statues of silver knights. It seems to be like a test of sorts. It's filled up with traps, as you can see. Swinging gauntlets, swinging blades, narrow paths. It's obviously used as a prison of sorts as well. Anyway, before you go along the path, going along the path is the correct way to progress through the level, but before you do that, come down here. What you want to do is, you want to roll off the edge here. You'll survive, it's survivable. Roll off the edge and instantly go for the ladder. There's a Prowling Demon behind us. There he is. So instantly go for the ladder. The reason you want to do this is there's one good item up here and one enemy we want to take on as well. So yeah, Anor Londo is only accessible. Pick up the Proud Knight Soul. Don't roll down there, come through here, illusory wall, and go up the next set of ladders. So it seems like Anor Londo is only accessible via certain routes, and one of these routes is through Sen's Fortress, and it seems like Sen's Fortress has been built. If you notice, Sen's Fortress doesn't really look like some of the other architecture in the parish and the burg. It's either more ancient or it's newer. Anyway, let's talk about this guy. This is a giant. He was the one that opened the portcullis, opened the gate to Sen's Fortress. These guys, you can normally stun them, or stunning them is maybe not the right word. Just be careful, they kick quite hard, and they hit quite hard as well. But usually after they've swung their fists, or kicked their legs, or stomped their feet, they tend to need a rest, and what happens is they hunch down, and it's at that point that you can attack them with glee. For some reason this one doesn't seem tired today, and he didn't do the hunch down animation. But they're not difficult. You just don't lock onto them, just run around them, get your hits in, and you've got quite a bit of health. I believe poison arrows can also be used to take them out, although I would suggest not wasting your arrows until you get to Anor Londo, because you'll need them for there, if you're not good again at parrying. 2 out of the 3 giants in here are guaranteed to drop titanite chunks, which is good. You can see there's the undead parish where we rang the first bell of awakening, and you can see that the architecture and the construction of this Sen's Fortress looks completely different to everything else surrounding it. So it's interesting. Interesting place. So roll off here, and you want to come along this path. Now these swinging blades, obviously you've got to be careful. You've got to time your movements precisely. Obviously it's not difficult. I mean, the simplest amount of coordination should get you through them safely. Come down here and don't go any further, or much further. The reason is there's a serpent-mage, that's the female equivalent of these guys, up above us, and she's firing lightning at us just now. You can see that, so just be careful. If you go too far out, she'll get you. You can see that there was an item down there as well off to the right. We'll pick that up later. What I would suggest doing is, if you've followed this guide, you will have the eagle shield by this point. I would suggest equipping the eagle shield because it's got 75% lightning defense. So use that here. Just don't hesitate here, just keep going. Just make sure that the lightning doesn't push you back into the blades, and then take this bitch out. There we go. You can actually run round her. Watch out, there's a trap there. Again, it's a pressure plate. Those serpent-mages, as they're called, their weapons, the flamberge, and it does a bleed effect, so don't let her hit you. Yep, that's good. You've got boulder traps in here as well. You can actually hold this guy out here. You can you can boulder him to death. Boulder doesn't do that much damage, so you need to take him down. Don't go for the other guy just now. You can see that there's a serpent down there guarding the entrance. Just forget about him just now. What you want to do is you want to keep your eye on these boulders, and once the timing's right, don't go to the left, run down to the right. Go down here, don't run too far down or you'll slip off the edge. Come down here and we'll meet a familiar face. You can see that there was 2 serpents down here, and you might think Siegmeyer killed them.
Oh ho! Ah, where did you come from? Splendid news, I tell you.
So Siegmeyer's managed to make his way through this part.
Ah, so you see my plight. Yes, indeed. I've run up against a wall, or a ball to be precise. I must say, I'm a bit too tough to be outrunning those things. So here I sit in quite a pickle, but who knows? Perhaps we'll have another development.
He's an interesting character.
My head would spin.
So he didn't actually kill those serpents, because sometimes when you come in here, you come down here, these serpents are still alive. I don't know what triggers the event that kills them. But Siegmeyer of Katarina is an interesting character. He's a defeated man, totally out of his depth in Lordran. What his reason for being in Lordran is, I have no idea. His quest seems above his capabilities. So just time your run up here carefully. She'll come down. Boulder will get her. They don't have as much health as the males, so you can take her out. Come up here and pick up a ring. It's the ring of steel protection. I like this ring. It's useful for low level characters. It increases your defense. There you go, you can read the item description. Boosts physical attacks, defense against physical attacks, and it does work well for low level characters. But it's one of these things, it's diminishing returns. Is the higher up, the higher your soul level gets, the less worthwhile it becomes. There's a weapon down to the left, just above Siegmeyer. It's the Shotel, or Shoto, however you pronounce it, and basically it's a sword, a curved sword that allows you to hit behind shields. That didn't work very well. It's not a sword I'm interested in, or a weapon I'm interested in, but some people like it for PvP reasons, because it can get in behind shields and inflict damage. So you can backstab these serpents as well. The easiest way to take them out is usually parry and riposte. So we're going to have the same problem facing us here, in the sense that we have to time the boulders, and once the boulders have rolled past here, don't get too close to the boulders because their hitbox is massive, and they can actually damage you even though you're not out there. So try and stay kind of further back from the path of the boulder here, and once you come out, come up to the right, come up to the broken pillar, come down here and do a plunging attack, take her out. Like I say, don't let her hit you with her swords. The flamberge, she's got 4 arms, and her flamberge will one-shot you most likely at this level, because of the bleed effect. Come up here and pick up the Black Sorcerer's set. This is connected with a ring that we'll find in a wee minute, the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring, and that set is connected again with there's maybe a connection with in general with Seath the Scaleless and Sen's Fortress. Some people speculate that the man-serpents and whatnot have been constructed or fashioned into existence by Seath the Scaleless, and the Sorcerers of Windheim wear the Black Sorcerer set, or at least some of them do, and they're connected with sorceries to do with sound. And you'll see soon that we pick up a ring that basically mutes the amount of mutes the sound that we emit as we walk. It's called the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring. Come down here. What to do is don't take him on, just walk down here to the right and he will eventually fall off into a tar pit below. And come round here and be careful not to fall down anywhere and pick up this item. This is a slumbering dragon crest ring. Decreases oral activity, not oral activity. Mass sounds emitting from its wearer. The problem is it has these odd looking auras attached to your feet, which I'm not a fan of. I prefer the Ring of Fog, which is the one that basically makes you harder to see. But the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring has its uses, especially in certain areas of the game where enemies can hear you. I was lucky I didn't get knocked off there. If you do get knocked off, you get knocked off into a pit of tar below, and you'll encounter lots of Prowling Demons. There's, I think, 4 Prowling Demons down there. 2 of them have normal amounts of health, and the other 2 have increased amounts of health. They guard weapons. Well, one of them guards a weapon, the Great Scythe. No, it's not actually. Sorry, it's a good weapon anyway. Whatever it is he guards, it's a good weapon. It's one of the scythes. Anyway, we're going to head back the way we came. And then instead of going right this time, we're going to go straight down. So, didn't have the guts to go there, but we'll go next time. Here we go. So just keep running. You can kind of robe off to the left here if you want, but just run down here and come into the left here and wait here, don't go any further. And what will happen is that you see that there's a hole in the ground. The boulders will eventually pile up on top of each other and you'll see what happens. It smashes through the wall and that gives you access to the item that we've seen as we came into Sen's Fortress, the one that I talked about as we took on the first serpent, or not the first serpent, the third serpent. So this is a gold covetous ring. That ring increases your item find. It boosts it by 200 points. So a great ring if you're wanting to farm items or you're wanting drops from enemies. So there you go, I've got the maximum item discovery of 410 with that ring on. We're going to encounter a chest here, but this is a chest like you've never seen before. This is a mimic, it's an enemy. If you look at the chain actually comes forward. It's coiled forward. Also, if you look closely at the treasure chest, it actually moves up and down. Attack it. Be quick, it's got a lot of health, the mimic. I was lucky there. And he'll drop the lightning spear. The lightning spear is good in Sen's Fortress. Good weapon for guys starting out, or guys or gals starting out in the game. Does a lot of lightning attacks. Or has a high lightning attack modifier, and that's good in Sen's Fortress because a lot of the enemies are weak to lightning. Come on here and you'll notice the blood. This platform stops at 2 locations. One's here and up above it'll power your head into some spikes, so make sure you roll off of it. And this brings us back to an area we've already been at. This brings us back to the wee bridge that connected the black sorcery set. And yeah, so anyway, come up here, and this is the source of all the boulders rolling down. That's the path we came up to get the Ring of Steel protection. So somebody's obviously moving this lever. I've seen people bypass this lever and not realise that it actually controls the direction of the boulders, so make sure you don't make the same mistake. What you want to do is you want to set the boulder on this path, and the reason is this takes you down to the wall where the serpent soldier was guarding, the one that I said just leave him for just now, the one that we used the eagle shield to hold the other man-serpent out where the boulder rolled over him. So what you do is you let the boulders roll down and kill this guy. Once it's done its job, and you'll see it doing its job once you get the souls. You want to go down there, there's an NPC down there. Yeah, it's quite creepy that you see the mimics actually. If you look at the chest carefully, you can actually see the chest kind of moving up and down. Obviously we'll change the mechanism so that the boulders don't hit you as you go down to meet the NPC. But yeah, really interesting that, not really interesting, but it's interesting. Oh, that's another thing. Be careful if you do engage a mimic. He'll grab you and he'll probably one-shot you at this point. He'll chews onto your head. You can also use Lloyd talismans, either before they're activated or after. Before they're activated allows you to pick their items up. After they're activated puts them back into a docile state and allows you to get their treasure.
A rare thing in these times. I am Logan. I'm a bit cooped up, as you can see. I have a bright idea. Suppose you set me free. I'm old and empty-handed, but I could repay you with knowledge and sorcery. This place is melting my mind. The inactivity is repressive.
So this is the biggest connection with Seif the Scaleless, in my opinion. This is Big Hat Logan. He's a sorcerer from Vinheim, considered to be the best sorcerer, I think, from Vinheim. And he's here on a mission in Lorgen.
Thank you. I'm safe, and I'd love to resume my travels, but I must log a few things first, and I owe you a favor. I will return to Prowling Shrine. Speak with me there, so that I may impart my sorcery.
So he has the game's best sorceries, so if you're into that, definitely free this NPC. He's in a mission to seek out Seif the Scaleless's advanced knowledge of immortality and of sorceries, basically. So it's interesting that he's been imprisoned here. Another connection with Seif the Scaleless is that when we eventually go to the Duke's Archives, which is where we'll meet again Big Hat Logan, the Duke's Archives are apparently the repository of all this knowledge that Seif's gathered over the years. And you also encounter these man-serpents and the female serpent-mages in the Duke's Archives. So yeah, there's loads of different connections between Duke's Archives, Seif the Scaleless and Sen's Fortress. And it's strange as well that you've got all these statues of Silver Knights. It's as if they're in storage in Sen's Fortress. They don't quite look like they've been placed in display. It looks more like they're just sitting here ready to be, I don't know, taken somewhere. That's what I love about Dark Souls. There's so much information and lore. Engraved, not engraved's the wrong words, but you know, interwoven into the locations, into the item descriptions, into the NPC's dialogue. It's just a brilliant way to tell a story, and definitely think it's one of the most captivating ways of storytelling that I've seen in recent times from any game developer. Because it encourages you, it motivates you. Just be careful for this trap. It motivates you to seek out and eke out wee bits of information that you think maybe other people haven't seen before. If you're into lore, I'd recommend YouTube searches. Epic Name Bro. You can run past all these at once. Vati Vida, I don't know how you pronounce that guy's name, I can never get it right. Dave Control Live, these kind of guys. These guys have Silvermont, that's another one. All made excellent videos and contributions to the Dark Souls community. And to be honest, all the findings that these guys have made have really, I've said it in the first video, say it again, it's enriched the Dark Souls experience for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys find in Dark Souls 2, which comes out today actually. Anyway, take this mage out. We'll come back up the stairs in a minute. Can't wait to pick up Dark Souls 2 on Friday. It doesn't come out until Friday in the UK. Also picking up Epic Name Bro, whose real name's Marcus. Probably the most famous Dark Souls commentator on YouTube. He's been in partnership with Future Press Publications to actually co-author the official Dark Souls 2 guide, and looking forward to buying that as well. So come up here and use your bow. You want to get headshots in against these mages if you can. Headshots will stun them, and you can actually knock her off of the platform. I make a real mess of this. I don't know, I was just kind of panicking and I wasn't well focused. Another annoying thing is that the arrows can sometimes bounce off invisible walls, or become stuck in invisible walls, but you can see how the arrow in the head there stunned her. So yeah, just you can actually go past, you can actually continue along the path with her still alive, and you can circle round and take her out with melee combat. But if you can get the arrows into her, do so, because you look at that, we've only got one arrow left, and that's not going to be enough to kill her. She's got 0 health and I've got 0 arrows. I thought I had no arrows at this point, but I still had a couple of fairer arrows I'd picked up at some point, so that saved my bacon there. If I could actually hit her. You don't want to die at this point, embarrassing. I mean, how many is that I've missed in a row now? 4 or 5? Got her. Brilliant. But yeah, I made more of a meal than that than it should have been. So, but it's quite a perilous path, this one. I mean, it's very narrow on either side, and you know, you have to be careful. Your palms are sweating at this point. Your eyes, you're not blinking, you're just totally focused. There's nothing to the left there, apart from taking her out. Just be careful, for there's 2 pressure plates there that will shoot out arrows at you. Come through the fog gate and go to the left. It's thankfully not a boss fight at this point. You might be thinking to yourself, if you haven't played the game before, where's the bonfire? Surely there must be a bonfire in here. Well, here it is. The amount of new players that miss this is staggering, but you can understand why. It's not well signposted, and most new players aren't going to go to the edge of the building, the edge of the roof. But yeah, make sure that you come to this bonfire and rest at it, because you don't want to die and then respawn back in the parish. That would be really annoying. So upgrade your stats, focusing again on vitality, endurance, strength for dexterity, or strength and dexterity if you're a quality build. Okay, so we've got a few more things to do. We're not going to take on the boss in this video. The boss is known as Iron Golem, and he protects the way between here and Anor Londo. I'm going to change back over to my grass crest shield because it's more useful in this area. So come up here, be careful for the giant throwing fire boulders, fire bombs, whatever they are. Pick up the large soul of a brave warrior. Come up this way. Come down here. And we're going to meet one of those Berenike knights. Remember we talked about them before, we encountered one in the parish. They seem to guard important items. The one in the parish was guarding a firekeeper's soul, and also maybe the way to the first Bale of Awakening. This one is guarding the way to Prince Rickard. These guys are weak to lightning, and also if they go test this up, take them out. That's the worst move that they can pull. So they drop shards. Not all of them, I don't think, but this one does. Come along this way, and we'll meet Prince Rickard. He seems to have been on the same kind of mission that we were on, but is sadly hollowed out, and is now undead and hollow. He wields a rapier, Rickard's rapier. It's actually a really good weapon if you know how to use it well. It's one of the best. It's probably the best rapier in the game, and it's got a pretty deadly attack because it has like 4 or 5 continuous hits, and if you're got power within and whatnot going, it can take out a massive amount of health off an enemy. Don't fight him down, fight him on the stairs so that you've got there's like a difference in height between you, because if you fight him on level ground, he's really good at parrying and riposting. He's excellent at it, in fact. Anyway, he seems to have been a part of the aristocracy of Astora, So we met Oscar of Astoria, and surely he would know Rickard. But yeah, Rickard seems to have passed on and gone hollow and unable to fulfill his quest. We pick up a rare Ring of Sacrifice here that differs from the Ring of Sacrifice in that also a Divine Blessing, not a very useful item in the game, but basically it's good to have around. It acts like humanity in the sense that it restores all your health and gets rid of things like curse and whatnot. Not curse, sorry, toxins and whatnot. But the rare Ring of Sacrifice basically differs in that if you die with a Ring of Sacrifice on, if you die with that on, and this is a rare Ring of Sacrifice, you'll lose. You won't lose any of your souls or humanity, and you'll just respawn at the nearest bonfire with everything intact. With the rare Ring of Sacrifice, the difference is that if you're cursed, and I talked about that before, you need purging stones. It's the basilisks, remember, that curse you in the places like the depths. Well, if you die to curse and you've got a rare Ring of Sacrifice on, it basically it takes the curse away. It stops it basically in its tracks. The ring breaks and that's it. It's a one-time use thing. Anyway, come down here, we've got another couple things to take care of. There's some boulder knights down here, or boulder knights, knights of boulder. There's a whole array of different enemies in Sen's Fortress. Seems like it's a point of interest for many of the different factions and agendas in Lordran. So that was quite a good drop. We got his helm and we got Titanite Shard, large one. There's an item above there we'll pick up in the next video. Come round here. He's guarding the way to the flame stoneplate ring, which increases your fire defences. That ring can actually prove useful at certain points in the game. So don't put it in your bottomless box, keep it available. So in the next video we'll finish up in Sen's Fortress, and if we can do, we'll make our way to Anor Londo. I hope for all you people that are, it's 11th of March 2014, I hope you all enjoy Dark Souls 2 in North America and Canada. And I hope this episode's been useful and helpful for you. See you in the next episode.